Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? It's Q back again with another episode of Q Reviews. It's episode 10. Super excited to be here. If it's your first time here, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Before we start, shameless plug. The good people at Vanity Clothing, they actually sent me their first drop for summer 2020. It's a bread colorway, so it can go with your Jordan 1s that are breads, your bread 4s, your bread 11s, whatever breads you have, they can go with this tee. And they have a white colorway that has the black and red as well for any of your other sneaker collections. It's just a really complimentary colorway. It's a very comfortable shirt. It's a solid look, so make sure to follow Vanity Clothing. Their Instagram will be posted in the description below. Go and check out that Instagram. It's pretty fly. It's really sleek. They have their first drop on May 16th at 1 p.m. So check out their profile and their page. Thank you so much for the shirt. I really appreciate it. Shameless plug over. All right, let's get into the video. We're still in quarantine. Movie theaters are still closed. That didn't stop Warner Brothers from kicking off their summer blockbuster releases. There was some back and forth with this movie, if it would be released, how they were gonna release it, but the studio finally said, you know what, let's let it go on the day that it's supposed to be in theaters. We'll do a video on demand, and here we are. So today, let's get into Scoob. So Scoob brings back the animated adaptation of the beloved 60s cartoon Scooby-Doo. The movie is jam-packed with stars. You have Zac Efron as Fred, Amanda Seyfried as Daphne, you have Gina Rodriguez as Velma, you have Will Forte as Shaggy, and then you have like OG Frank Welker, who plays Scooby-Doo in the actual 1960 series. He came back and reprised his role as Scooby-Doo. You also have Mark Wahlberg, Kiersey Clemons, Ken Jeong, and Tracy Morgan as well in this movie. The thing about Scoob, it delivers a fresh new take on the origin of how Scooby and Shaggy and the Mystery Gang, how they met, how they formed a business, split up, got back together. It's kind of like Straight Outta Compton with a happier ending. It's packed with nostalgia. It's packed with pop culture references and adventure because, it's marketed to kids, but it's actually marketing millennials and also the people that watched the series while it was on TV. It's every generation can enjoy Scoob. That's what they marketed for. We got to talk about things that I like. So what I liked. Let's just start off with the color palette. Bright colors, smooth textures. Yes, it was dope because this is a trick that usually you only see in DreamWorks animation, like really for the past decade. When you think of movies like Despicable Me, The Croods, Megamind, you think, oh, like they're bright, and these are all DreamWorks movies. Warner Brothers kind of got in that bag and said, let's go ahead and utilize that. We've seen them do the Lego movies and Smallfoot. With this, they just did it right. They did it right. It looked really good. It looked really pretty. I look to see what they have in store in the next coming years. So they're going to be doing Tom and Jerry. They're going to be doing Space Jam 2. And they also are doing DC Super Pets. So hopefully in the future, they take what they used in those movies because I think that was a really good idea. And I think that it keeps you entertained visually throughout the entire film. I like the music. To start off a Scooby-Doo movie with California Love by Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Roger Troutman, just great job. And see, the thing is, I like when Junkie XL, and when he's the composer of music, I see that he's done a few Warner Brothers movies, but he's also done Sonic, Deadpool. He also did Mad Max. I think it's just really cool. It's really fire. That was a really good touch to this movie. Another thing that was great, the voice acting. It was literally the biggest part of this movie. Here's why. If you don't go into this movie knowing who plays who, it's still a fantastic job. And I think that just shows like the extraordinary talent of the actors that were in this movie. I was just surprised at how well it was done and how well it meshed with the story as well. The last thing that I just really liked that I really wanted to talk about was the nostalgia. I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan. Like, wait just a second. This bit. That's right. It's the complete series. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? 1969 I've seen a lot of the straight to DVD movies, a lot of the reboot series, a lot of the collaboration movies that they've done. And what I really enjoyed about this movie was Warner Brothers Animation decided to take that chance. They saw the opportunity to utilize all the nostalgic pieces of Scooby-Doo and just like drop in this movie, and they didn't miss. It wasn't forced. It didn't seem like it was a bad idea. It was just every opportunity they took, they just landed the punch. They even gave us a new rendition of the 1969 theme song. They just updated the animation design, and it's literally the theme song like in like the first act of the movie, and it's just great. It's really good. It's really just good fan service, and from a fan's point of view, that's all you can really ask for when these movies are created. So I thought that was just so dope. Not to hype up this movie or anything, but it's always a tough time to like kind of transition into the things that I didn't like. So the things that I hated. When the main characters aren't seen in this movie, it sucks, man. It's so bad. Here's the problem. I don't want to be a jerk about it, but I don't know what they were going for with like the side stories or like the side characters. I don't know what they were trying to achieve within that process. It was very bad. Another thing, Blue Falcon, who's played by Mark Wahlberg, the character itself was just trash. Like his motives, his purpose in this movie was just trash. And so it sucks because his side characters are guilty by association, which makes it seem like, man, I don't like this character. I don't like these characters. I just want to watch Scooby-Doo. In this movie, there's like a good chunk where it's like Blue Falcon and Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo and Blue Falcon. And you just have to sit through that. You have to get used to that. That ties into the plot. Everything was really good in the beginning. I'm talking about the first act was solid. You're understanding why Shaggy and Scooby met, the purpose of that, what it symbolizes, and then even going into how the gang got together, how they even grew together, and how they built their business and their hardships of their business. You're like, I'm invested. This is really good. But then it's like the plot takes a left turn. Towards the end, it's almost like you're just spinning out of control. I will give the writers their credit. They were able to loop it back to where you started in the beginning. The last scene is where you started in the beginning. And I thought that was good. Thank God they did that. But for that middle chunk of the movie, you're just like, where is this going, bro? Why are we doing this? And even towards like the final like scenes, you're just like, is this Scooby-Doo? Or is this, a new character that you guys are trying to kind of push out to us? So it was that. It was the plot. The last thing that I'll talk about with the plot is if we were watching a movie solely based on the adventures of Scooby-Doo, I'm talking, like our 30-minute Scooby-Doo, they're looking for an adventure, they found the adventure, they're scared, they split up, somebody finds, somebody, and then they all come together. The bad person's like, hey, I would have gotten away with this if it weren't for you annoying ass teenagers and your ugly ass dog. If we got that in a movie, cool, boom, 10 out of 10. That's what we want in Scooby-Doo. But it was like they did too much. And then within doing too much, you have too much time. This movie was 94 minutes. If we were watching just a 94-minute episode of Scooby-Doo, I wouldn't have any complaints. That's just how big of a fan I am. But with this, all of that extra stuff made the runtime way too long. Either they could have cut some of that stuff out or just give us 94-minute Scooby-Doo movie that was about Scooby-Doo. So, all in all, when it comes to the rating, what do I give this? I give this movie a solid 8 out of 10. Given our circumstances with the global pandemic, you can either pay $20 to rent this movie for 48 hours, or you can pay $27 and own this movie forever. I bought it, and I honestly don't regret it. I think that it's a good movie. I think that it has really good replay value. I'm excited to watch the movie again. There's flaws, but also for the most part, it's really enjoyable. When it comes down to Warner Brothers Animations, they did such a great job with introducing Scooby-Doo to the younger generation while giving millennials those drops of nostalgia that we saw, growing up when it was kind of revamped for us. And then also, they gave our parents the opportunity to experience Scooby-Doo and kind of remember where they fell in love with Scooby-Doo. So I thought that was an amazing job. Just one thing about the movie studios that they really need to keep in mind, if you're tackling nostalgic pieces, kind of focus on the fan service. Don't necessarily push for a new character to develop and kind of present to us. That's really all I have on Scoob. Comment in the comments section. Tell me what you thought of Scoob. How did you feel about this movie? And what are your favorite Cartoon Network shows? What would you like to see revamped in this new animation style? Thank you so much for watching. I always appreciate those views. I always appreciate that interaction. Make sure to subscribe, share, like. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you're updated and you're aware of all the new videos that are coming out. Thank you guys so much. Be safe. Wash your hands. Talk to you soon. Peace.